Hey guys, recently I made a video on how to install Kali Linux on VirtualBox on Windows. And that video was actually received pretty well, and some people asked me to make some specific videos to kind of continue this series to help other people use Kali Linux in a VirtualBox. And so I thought I would go ahead and jump into that here. We're going to do a series of fairly short videos, mostly because Kali Linux is very complicated to get set up. It's not quite as user-friendly out of the box as, say, something like Ubuntu or Mint or stuff like that. So we're going to take these kind of slow. We'll make these hopefully just a few minutes long so that they don't become too overwhelming. So let's go ahead and switch camera angles so that we can go back to where we left off with our Kali Linux install on VirtualBox, and then we'll just kind of go from there and see how far we get in this video. So this is our default login page. It's very, very plain here. Our username, of course, is root, and if you're following along, we'll put in whatever password we've got that we set up when we installed Kali Linux in VirtualBox. So we'll give this just a second to load here, and then it should pull up our desktop here. And the first thing that really bugs me about this is our resolution of the actual usable screen, out to the edges out here, is 1920 by 1080. But this little area in here is considerably smaller than that, and we want to make this full screen so that it's not quite as restrictive here. So there's a couple of things that we've got to do first. And the first thing that we've got to do here is actually open the terminal over here in our bar on the left. So we'll go ahead and click that. And it's going to pull up our terminal box there. And what we've got to actually do is edit our sources.list file so that we can get all of the most current up-to-date stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to use leafpad to open and edit a file in etc. apt sources.list, and we'll go ahead and click or press enter there, and then it's going to open basically Notepad. It's leafpad, but it's basically Notepad. And the first thing I do when I come in here is just delete that hashtag. Oops, that was right there. Just delete both of those, and I will click File and Save, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to close this file. So once we've got that, we'll go ahead and we'll just say Apt-Get Clean. So Apt-Get is a fairly common command in Linux. It's used to do things like install things and update things. In this case, we're going to clean our sources list. So we're just going to do Apt-Get Clean here, and then we'll click enter again. So that is taken care of. So we're going to run 3 more commands, but the problem here is that each command has to be run independently of each other, and each command can take a little bit of time. So we'll just go ahead and jump in, and I'll just kind of walk you through what we're about to do here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to say apt-get update, and we'll click enter. And it's going to go through all of the repositories that are available to it. We just added the source, we just added the source distribution, or the distribution source rather. Or the Debian source. What am I talking about? We added the Debian source. My bad. So once we've got that, it's gone ahead and it's run all of the updates. So this one wasn't too bad, but now I just pressed up right there, just so I didn't have to retype everything. I'm going to type up apt-get upgrade, and this one can actually take a little bit of time. So we'll go ahead and click enter there, and it's going to go through all of these things that need to be upgraded, and it's going to say there's 850 things upgraded, and 124 not upgraded, and it's going to take 845 megabytes. It needs to get 845 megabytes of new archives, and an additional 506 megabytes of disk space will be freed afterwards. So we're going to go ahead and say yes, that's fine. Now this part takes a while. I've actually already done this in a different VirtualBox, just so I could test to make sure that everything was going to work appropriately. And so what I can say at this point is maybe go grab yourself something to drink. Got to go to the bathroom. This is a good time, because this will take a while, and there's really not much you can do about it. I've actually got a fairly quick internet connection here. It is hitting about 7 to 8 megs roughly on its downloads, and even this took quite a while, because even after it finishes doing all of the downloads, it's got to install and set everything up, and it will take a while. So like I said, get a drink, go to the bathroom. Okay, so at this point it's downloaded everything, and now it's reading the changelogs, and this will take a little while. You can see that the percentage increments are going up, which is great. That means we're getting some progress. But then once it's done with everything, it's got to basically compare notes from what you've got to what it's downloaded, and make all of the updates happen. And then once all of the updates happen, then we'll have to actually, or it will automatically do all of this setup for all of the stuff that it's downloaded and installed. Again, this is time consuming, and unfortunately there just isn't much else you can do. Okay, so on this screen, it doesn't really tell you much. I mean, it tells you lots, but what it doesn't tell you is just press your down arrow until you get to the bottom. You can actually press and hold the down arrow until you get to this spot where it says press Q to quit, and then you can do that, and then it will actually continue from there to take you to another configuration screen. Chances are that that this is fine, this setting right here. So hit Tab and then hit Enter for OK. And then it's asking, do you want non-super users to be able to capture packets? The answer to that is no, so hit Enter. And then it will continue to prepare and unpack the different archives that it has downloaded. And then again, we'll just sit and wait. Okay, so at this point it's gone through the downloading and unpacking, and it's done the installation of everything. Now it's doing some setup, and so this screen is saying that there's a major update here, and that anything prior to this may not be supported. At this point, this is a brand new install for me anyway, so I don't really care. So I'm going to say OK. Okay, so that took quite a while, unfortunately. Luckily for you guys, I was able to, speed that up, so you didn't have to sit there for like the 10 minutes or whatever I did. So you're welcome. Next, we've got another command to run that will take some time, not quite as long, but it will take some time. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so the next command we're going to run is, instead of just being an upgrade for whatever we've got in our programs or applications or whatever, we're actually going to do a distribution upgrade of Kali. So again, I just pressed up, and I'll just go back to the beginning right there where the U is, and I'll type in dist dash, so a distribution upgrade, and then we'll hit enter again. Then it's going to say, hey, I'm going to download a bunch of stuff. We're going to use some more space, and I'm going to say, yep, that is fine. So again, we're going to unfortunately take some more time here. Luckily, again, for you guys, I can fast forward through this part and speed it up, and you won't have to deal with quite as much waiting as I am. But then once we're done, we'll run one more command, which will just be a reboot command, and hopefully, if everything worked right, we'll have a much more pleasant user experience moving forward. Okay, as promised, that didn't take nearly as long as the last one. So we've got one more command to run, and that is just a simple reboot. Now, I will say one thing here is when I type in this command and hit enter, it will go through a shutdown sequence. As you would expect, the problem, in my opinion anyway, is that it will take a full minute and a half to go through that shutdown sequence. So let's just go ahead and do that and get it over with. Of course, you guys don't have to wait that long. Okay, so now the minute and a half is up, it is rebooted, and with any luck at all, we should have a much better user experience moving forward. So it has, it's started its boot up process. Of course, it's thinking, it's cleaning some stuff up here. Oh, right. I knew there was something wrong there. So the next thing that we're going to want to do here, so we're going to do apt-get install virtualbox guest-x11. And again, more downloading and installing, so we'll say yes. Okay, so now it has done what it needs to do there. Let's try a reboot. Actually, you know what? Let's eject this first, just because it bugs me that it's sitting there. And let's try another reboot. Maybe this one won't take as long, like the last one didn't. Nope. It's going to take the full 90 seconds. Alright, this is looking promising. Hey, look, cursor goes all the way across now. Oops, so let's... Dang. Hey, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so there we go. Now we've got all of our updates. We've got the additional repositories that we'll need in the future. We've got the system upgraded to the most current version. And now we've got it all working in full screen rather than just that tiny little box. So I think that's a really, really good place to go ahead and wrap up this video. Let's see, where are we? Let's take a quick look. I have been recording this video for 32 minutes now, so I've got a bunch of editing to do and that sort of thing to get this uploaded to hopefully get it out to you guys very, very soon. So, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I hope this was helpful. If you've got any questions or suggestions or anything like that to maybe do future videos regarding Kali Linux, leave those in the comment section down below. That would be amazing. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Really does help me and the channel out a bunch. And I would really appreciate it if you could just take a second to do that. And if you're interested in these videos and want to see more of these videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I will take that as a hint that you want more of this. wherever this is, and we'll just go from there. But thanks for your time. I always appreciate your support, and I'll talk to you in the next one.